name is Ria Patel, and this is my second year in ACP. So I'm going to start by showing a few pictures that were from kind of where I last left off with my last recital. So after my last recital, I started trying different photography techniques. This one is called light painting, which is where you kind of take the photo for a long period of time, and you can kind of paint onto the photo with light. So these are two of the ways I did that. My next thing that I did was something called an individual investigation, where I wanted to focus on portraits using color and light. So this one I did, which is like focusing on the blue light, again on the blue light. And then this one was my favorite one from that set. It's from a prism that I pointed to the sun, and then the rainbow reflected onto her eye, which I really love this one because of how natural it was. So then my next few photos are a lot about composition and framing. So a lot of like how I got started into photography was from traveling. So this is kind of where I started. So this one is all about framing it that way it shows the nice reflection on the water and also the buildings, kind of to like have like the half reflection, half building picture. This one is a lot about composition of like trying to show like how big the building was. So I took it at a really low angle and then made it very centered. Again, this one was a lot about composition. I really like how everything in this picture ties together, like the colors of it, and then the trees, and then all of the different elements. This next one kind of reminds me of like a ship getting ready to set sail, which is why I really love this photo, rather than just kind of a picture of like the normal foreground. This next one is a lot about the color of it and editing of it. I really like the perspective of it, where it has so much like depth to it, and this area here, well, in this area it's like very focused and clear. So this next one was really interesting to take, because I took it through a fence with a shallow field, which is why it has the kind of like blurry, fantasy-like effect around it, and then I edited it to have a couple more colors into it to make it really vibrant. And then this next one was of a dancer, and I took it at a really fast speed. That way I could really capture her dress spinning in the air. And then other than that, I really like to take portraits. So this is one I took of Cameron a few days ago, and it was at Kanapaha Gardens. Another one of Cameron. So in studio art this year, I've been focusing on a bunch of different things. It kind of started with a lot of light and how light projects onto things, which is what I started to do here. But then I kind of decided to advance on that when I got a couple of mirrors from Satchels, and I realized how cool that light works with mirrors, and how when the light is reflected on mirrors, that's the reflection that we see in mirrors. So I really got fascinated by that idea and took that as my whole project. So you can see here, kind of, because it's a little bright, but you can see the reflection of Teddy kind of like going down. And again here. So then other than that, I've been trying to show different ways of showing the kind of depth of mirrors and how they work. So this one, it's the same person, but it was taken with 3 mirrors set up perfectly. That way you could see myself in it, but also see me at the same time. And all of these are done like without photoshopping. That way it's like to see the purpose of the actual mirror and like how different ways they can work together. This one I really love because you can see that her face is pointed this way, but you can also see that it's covered by the mirror. But the way that the mirror was angled, it kind of projects her whole face into it still, which I really like that one for this reason. Again, more playing with mirrors in this sense. And this is probably the first one I got where I really incorporated like the idea of looking one way, but the actual person is looking another by angling mirrors in a certain way. More mirror pictures. And then this is just recently where I kind of took everything I've like learned from mirrors so far and redid the infinity mirror idea, but this way it's like more long like out. That way you can see more of them, and you can kind of see it in a more like front way. And a lot of people ask me how I do it, so I thought I'd throw in a picture of kind of what it looks like. So there's 3 mirrors surrounding him, and I kind of like go on the inside and take a picture down. So then the other thing I started trying was kind of composing faces together using mirrors, so I would align them perfectly. And it was just another way I thought would be really interesting of how mirrors work and like how I could use them together. So then I did that again, and then I really enjoy how all these mirrors kind of work together. And if you have any questions, I'd love to.